I remember when I was a young attorney being in court during oral argument on a very important medical malpractice case where the plaintiff's attorney was banging his hand hard on the table, and I kept thinking, what an idiot this guy is. How could the judge actually believe this guy? You want to learn what this is about? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. This was back when I was practicing as a defense attorney, early in my career. I went into Kings County Court, which is Brooklyn, and now we have oral argument on what was then known as a medical malpractice panel. You see, there was a procedure before we actually got to trial, where the attorneys involved in the case now had to present their positions to a panel of a judge, a lawyer, and a doctor. And now that panel of 3 individuals were supposed to come to a conclusion about whether or not there was wrongdoing, or there wasn't wrongdoing, or they couldn't make a decision. And now this was a very involved process. And this oral argument was critical because now the answer, we could use that at the time of trial if it was in our favor. And if it wasn't in our favor, there are ways to try and minimize the effects of it. But now this plaintiff's attorney, the attorney who represented the injured victim, was a very well-known, very prominent attorney in New York. And now here I am as pretty much a junior attorney defending the doctor in this particular medical malpractice case. We're now making this argument to the panel of 3 people, a judge, a doctor, and a lawyer. And now this plaintiff's attorney is a big heavy-set guy, and he's getting angry and showing righteous indignation, and he's pounding his fist on the table. And all I could think about was, this guy is such a blowhard. He's getting all agitated and all angry and upset, and I couldn't figure out where the basis for his case was. There was no basis for a case. So instead, he was yelling and screaming and trying to divert everybody's attention from the real issue in the case. So now it was my turn to get up. And the first thing I said was, listen, when you know the facts of the case, you argue the facts. When you don't know the facts of the case, you scream and yell and pound on the table. And that made everybody in the room laugh. But you know what? The point hit home because it was absolutely true. This attorney had nothing to go on, and so now he was screaming and yelling and pounding the table, and ultimately it didn't serve him very well, because ultimately we won that particular round. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share this story with you just to give you an idea and a sense of what it is to go through a medical malpractice case, and we did away with those medical malpractice panels years ago, and it did not help the jury understand whether or not there truly was a violation from the basic standard of medical care. You know, I realize you're watching this because you likely have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.